Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is John Coffey and I am the Unpaved Explorer. Today is Saturday, July 13th, 2019. It's approximately 10 a.m. It's 75 degrees outside and I am at the Medina Square and they are having an outdoor tent festival in which they have various vendors at the square. So we're going to check them out. I was told that there is a tent that has a class on beekeeping in which we'll be attending. All right, talk to you shortly. Bye.
So here we have a frame where they're laying. The queen has laid in here. Can you see the little white larva right around here? Anything white in those cells.
Hey!
So those were laid about a week ago, and they're growing from eggs into larvae. And once they get to a certain size, then they cap them, put these caps on them.
And then more inside.
The underneath those caps, they will then transform into live bees, and in a few days will hatch out. So there's lots of larvae on this one. All you're looking at here is girl bees. They're all nurse bees.
How do they make the cap?
Well, it's a type of wax, and the bees makes wax. They have wax glands kind of near their rear end, and they just exude wax, chew it up, and use it as they need to either make cells or to make cappings.
Okay. Do you get stung a lot?
Depends.
Normally not too much.
This is honey right there. That's honey. And see all the liquidy stuff that's in there? Okay, so that's nectar that they've gathered from the flowers, and they have to thicken it up or dry it out. Once it gets to certain dryness, then they cap it off, and that's honey.
So then if you get a board that's like all looking like that white, then you harvest it?
Yes. And if you guys come here right now, the queen is right in view.
Yeah.
Well, that's your problem. You gotta find her. She's got a special green mark on her. Can you find
You
her?
youngsters have
The
eagle
best
eyes.
You see her?
I see her. I see her. Oh, I see her.
The color to mark the queen for 2019 is green.
Oh, there she is.
This is a partial hive and
She's got a green dot on her.
the queen is on that frame. They pull frames and they mark the queen each and every year, and this year's color for the queen is green, and so they put a green mark on the queen.
And she lays all the eggs. She lays up to 2,000 eggs a day.
And there's also a bee called giant bee and wolves. And this is 2,000
Wow.
Now, on a hive, 100% of the hive is utilized.
You
You
know,
get honey, the wax, the pupa, all of it is all utilized, no waste.
when you get stung on the nose, it hurts.
on the ear.
Yeah, certain places.
Certain places hurt more than others. This one just caught in my hair and really doesn't want to sting me.
It's looking at the black head then.
We hope.
Is it how big's the gap between the frame and the bottom of the hive?
We know queen bees.
Yeah.
What's that?
About 5/16
Yeah,
to
I'm going to
3
look at
eighths.
another one.
Five,
This one's got a
6,
lot of honey on it.
That's called bee space.
Oh,
That way they could go in between each frame.
If it's
cap
smaller than
area
that, they'll
is what we
propolize
call
it. If
brood.
it's bigger than that, they'll fill it with burr
And
comb.
that's where the baby bees,
They'll
they're
just
getting
build a
ready to
wild
hatch
comb
out.
because they don't like spaces like that.
Okay.
It makes it harder for them
Girl
to
bees. I haven't
control
seen
their
any boy
hive.
bees in here yet today.
So in a hive, they leave a small gap from the bottom of the hive and the frame is about 3/8 to 5/8 of an inch. Therefore, the bees could go in between the frames.
So if we didn't put these wood frames in here and they were out in the wild in a tree, they would just build comb down naturally. This just makes it easier for us to deal
I know
with.
somebody's going to step on that because
Yeah. Well, I did.
There's only one queen bee in every hive
natural.
Yeah, he is.
One
He's
queen
good at
for
it.
the whole box.
for the whole box. And this is a very small box. This is what we call a nucleus box. We use it,
She wants
you
it
know,
all.
to start new hives
Or I get in, I
or
know my
to just
sisters
start
and
new
I have
queens.
sisters. Here, Paul,
A
just come
normal
around here.
hive that we use is about twice as wide, and it may be 3 or 4 boxes tall.
Yeah, I've had one or two, but I can't
Could be.
get them within close.
And they really will want to come back. They want to be back home.
How do they get out?
How many bees do you think is in a whole hive? A big hive.
Oh, that was close.
If she would land, I'd pick her up by the
There's a
Yeah.
10,000? You're closer than a million. 50 to 80,000.
There's lots of bees in this tent.
Yeah.
And don't
There's
do
probably
that.
there's probably 1,000 in here. Probably.
Now, quick question. How often is a hive actually get found by a wasp in which
Because I
the
know how
wasp
many
will
cells there
kill
are
off
in
the
each
hive?
frame. Well, I'll get her out. in just a second.
Sometimes there are some
probably
things like the European
2,000.
hornet. It's a big one.
Those are the sites.
And in the fall, when there's not much food left,
I mean, hatch?
they will sometimes attack beehives.
1,000.
And they're buggers because they'll just grab the bee in
Yeah,
midair,
no, almost all.
chop off their head, and carry it back to their nest. So they can do a lot of damage.
Well, they're
So here
these only
in
live about 6
Ohio,
weeks.
what natural
These nurse bees, they live
predators
about 6
do honeybees truly have that you would be worried about for your hive?
Not
the summer.
really, not too many. Once
So
in
they
a
work
while,
really hard.
yellow
They work the first
jackets.
half of their life inside
Later
the
in the
hive.
year, there's not much
There-
food
there'll
out
be
there.
nurse bees,
And
Black
so-
bears.
bees are,
Yeah, oh yeah, black bears, of
job
course,
is
but
only to feed the
we don't
queen.
have much trouble around
then
here.
after
We did have 2 of
3
them
weeks
last
or
year
so,
in the area.
There's
They
actually
graduate.
in Portage County.
and now
Oh,
they're
is there?
foragers.
Yep.
They go out into the world and gather honey, and that's
Sal
what they did the last
and
3
her
weeks of their
kids
life.
in Portage County.
I do not want to go there.
Well, a queen will live, let's say, a good average is about
Sometimes
2
a bird will
years.
get a few, but not enough to
Sometimes
hurt the
3.
hive.
But if you get 2 years
Those
out
are
of
the
a queen,
main
that's pretty
things.
good.
A few
Yep.
wild things like
But her only job
insects,
that whole
hornets.
time, she just lays eggs, lays eggs, lays eggs, lays eggs.
In between hive maintenance, is it
Hey, we got one.
1 week?
They don't get them all back in. For the most part, they want
1
to be
week?
in here because
For
this is
maintenance?
where their
Yeah,
queen
hive
is. They
maintenance.
smell her and they wanna be
When a hive is new, once a week, and then by midsummer, maybe once every 10 days to 2 weeks.
Once every 10 days, 2 weeks?
Once they start what we call a honey flow, when things are blooming, they're really focused on bringing in nectar and food, and we try not to disturb them as much during that time.
So a established mature hive, what does it produce? About 30 pounds of honey per
I'd say on average,
Hive.
maybe 50
50 pounds of honey
on an average.
each hive.
Some hives
On
will go
average.
crazy and you get 200. Other hives you get 10 pounds. It just varies with the bees and the queen and what their food sources are. Where you live, you might have a great food source that I might not have in my area. Maybe something that blooms in July, which is a huge benefit.
So, in my understanding, if you don't mind me asking,
No.
hives are usually kept for multiple reasons. One is for honey, another one may be wax, another one is for producing more hives, and another thing is for pollination. Because I know a lot of beekeepers, they will approach farmers and ask them if they would mind placing a few hives on their property, and in exchange they would end up getting some honey or what have not. Is there any other thing that I may have missed in that list of
No, that
things?
covers a lot of it, but most of us just enjoy the bees. I get honey. Getting the honey is a lot of work, but it's cool. It's a lot of fun.
Stung me on the lip.
But the bees are just fascinating creatures. They are just, it's amazing what a hive of bees, one bee can only maybe like 1/16 of a teaspoon of honey in its whole life. They only live about 6 weeks in the summertime. They literally work themselves
Yeah,
to
that
death.
doesn't work well.
And yet a hive can produce 50 to 60 pounds of honey, and that's in addition to what they use. They'll use another 100 pounds just to raise babies and feed the bees. So it's really quite amazing how many thousands of flights they have to make that honey.
So in my understanding, is there 5 types of classification of a bee? You got the queen, the drone, the worker bee, the nurse.
All of the bees in the hive, you have the queen and the drone. All the other bees are female, and they're all worker bees, but they go through different. When they're first born, they take care of the babies, and they're really good at drawing wax, making wax. And that's so they. And then as they get a little older, they'll take over guard bees at the entrance, and then the last week or 2 of their lives, they become foragers. They go out, and so that's where that literally wears them out. They just work morning to night.
Yeah, when I was growing up, my grandfather had several hives, I believe 5 or 6 hives, and also on our property, we would have beekeepers come out and put hives themselves. And so that's how I became interested back into beekeeping.
It was a little different world back then. It was a lot easier. We didn't have some of the pests that we have now. You know, the things that harm them.
They're a little bit hard on your house.
At one point in time,
They're not my favorite.
it was thought that our cell towers were affecting the honeybee population. Has that been validated or invalidated?
Not validated at all.
So that it was not validated.
Just some people believe if you live where there's one that it's going to mess up your brain or something, and there's no evidence. I'm not saying I wouldn't want to live there myself aesthetically, but there's no evidence that it causes any problem.
Gotcha. Now I know wood frames are the preferred frame, but I know there are I think vinyl or plastic frames.
There are.
What is the quality and production difference between a wood frame compared to a plastic/vinyl frame?
Aesthetics. Most beekeepers, 99% of beekeepers use wood frames. The bees we think they like them better. They're not real fond of plastic. We do use plastic. Most beekeepers nowadays use plastic foundation, and then they draw the comb out. So once it's drawn out, they don't really see the plastic anymore. But some people still use natural beeswax foundation. It's just their preference.
Okay. Let's see, I have one more question, then I'll let you go. Thank you for answering my questions.
You're most welcome.
The self-draining hives, boxes, are they really worth the money you spend for them?
I'm going to just be polite and say the jury's still out. We have several members that have them, but that's some of our newer members, and we don't have enough feedback yet. It'll take another year or 2 so we get some first hands-on experience locally. It doesn't make wonderful sense to me to destroy all that comb to get the honey out, and you go online and they show pictures. They're out in the bee yard and they've got a hose draining into a jar. You do that in August, you'll have so many beehives robbing and around you won't be able to think straight. So the jury's still out on that one.
Well,
they are expensive.
Again, I really appreciate your time. Thank you for asking my questions.
You're very welcome.
You have a great day.
Well, you too.
Hello, my name's John Coffey, and I am the Unpaved Explorer. I just finished the bee course at the Bee Festival at the Medina Library. The festival is hosted by the Medina County Bee Association. If you want to know more about beekeeping, please reach out to the Medina County Bee Association, for they are a place with a lot of information and very knowledgeable about beekeeping. Again, my name's John Coffey, the Unpaved Explorer, and you have a great day. Bye.